Hey guys, this is Jeremy Stevens here with Mountain Materials. We're going to talk a little bit more about getting more involved in lockout, tagout, and the procedures, as you all can see over here. Try to get it all basically focused on what's best for you all as far as electrical safety. You know, right now we're at Valley Stone. We're in the process of doing our winter maintenance. So we can give you all a general idea on what we deal with out here. I mean, this is live. This is cut down to the T. So hopefully I can get through this, and you know, hopefully it'll all make sense to you guys. There's a lot going on. As you can see here to my right, we've got locks scattered. Everything's locked out. We're going to try to go through our policy procedure manuals and our logbooks. We're going to try to hopefully make it more easier for you guys to understand this whole step-by-step procedures that we've talked about over the last couple of years in our MSHA refresher classes. So we're going to just try to touch base on you all, and hopefully we can get through this. So you know, number one of our big things is the new people. You know, people that's not familiar with lockout, tagout, coming to a new place. You know, the first thing that, you know, I try to encourage people when they come in is always try to find this book. And this is our procedure manual. It might be located, they're supposed to be in every MC building. They're supposed to be in a good location where they can visibly be seen, not blocked. Most of the time they're real close. If you can see this red box, most of the time they're real close to these. And then here in our books, you know, we try to keep it as specific and simplified as we can, just for the simple fact that not everybody knows this, like most electricians, like most people that talk this all the time. So I can come in close and kind of just give you all a general idea on how this looks. This right here, your first page in this will be your equipment list. And when I mean equipment list, it's your equipment out here. A lot of your boxes will be labeled with what equipment number and everything that is specific about. So that kind of gives you like your index. But if you go to your front page, right here on ours is a jaw feeder. You know, that is put in line with how this plant runs, from a jaw feeder to the jaw all the way to the finished product. So I try to number this in line. So this one here is the jaw feeder. And if you look over here, well, I'll drop that. If you look over here, the lockout breaker, it is B1. The box number is 01. So if you look right up here on the top, like this one right here is box 1, and right here is the main breaker B1. Source of energy for the equipment, it is electrical. Comments, stored energy, other. Due to the large size material, extra caution for material falling during overload conditions should be applied. And what that means is up here in the jaw feeder, material may be built up in the jaw, so you have to run it empty. So that's another caution that it's giving you all. Special instructions, fall protection. Number of locks required, 2. Now the reason why you got to have 2 locks, even though you're working on it, is your before and after. The only thing that is after this is your jaw crusher, and it is located box 2, breaker 4, which is right here in this box right over here. And that's pretty much the whole strategy behind these procedure manuals. This is very vital. This is like the lockout tagout Bible, as I would call it, because I mean this is printed and chiseled in stone. This comes straight from CRH. It's a good piece of information to have in your all's MCC, and I'm sure you all have them all. Now the logbook is pretty much, I wouldn't consider it a manual. It is just, it's a form, it's a log sheet to let you know what you've logged out that you can come back to, who locked it out, the time it was applied, and the date. And the reason why they ask you certain things like this is, number one is how long has it been locked out and why is it still locked out? Who locked it out? What box it's numbered in? Again, you know, we'll use this one as an example. Box 1, breaker 1. It's all wrote in this log sheet. I know coming here, you can see that there is all these little tags on this. Well, basically because these components that you see written on these boxes, which is in that manual, is all controlled by the main, which is on this one right here. It is the most simplest way to keep you all from being exposed, because number one, you cannot cut all the power out of this box just for the fact that you all have incoming power that powers this. So it's always important to me to keep everybody out of these boxes. And to me, here in this application, it's by this handle right here. You know, something else too that I try to talk a lot about is visible means of disconnect. How do I know this is working? Well, that's why we test and try. I'm not completely done with this MCC room. You know, we can focus on these right here. You know, people, you know, again, this is it in the works right here. This is the line side of my main coming in from the electric pole from the power company, and this is the load side. This side right here is what's feeding these boxes. And on this breaker right here, this 800 amp main, I got my power coming from the electric company. This is my power coming through the breaker, and it's letting me know that this is live. Now, if I was to turn this handle off, this will go out. That will let me know that anything on the load side of these breakers is dead. I have test points. These right here are test points to check to make sure that my twinkle stars is actually working and working correctly. These are little test points that you can check with a meter. Only authorized people is allowed to check this. So, you know, this is how I got my start. You know, this is my home. But anyways, we can move on. We can kind of show you a little cut and dry on group lockouts. You know, we've talked about this. This right here is another great form of group lockout. These right here, these hasps, which I have an extra one here. These hasps, always, again, you know, I always encourage people, you know, this is made for 6 locks. One of the things too, that if you have more than 6 people, you know, again, this one right here is locked out to the T. You can see that I encourage people to leave one out. And the reason I leave one out is so you can do this right here, and that gives you 6 more options. If you do it again, you know, leave 5, do it again. I don't care if this hits the floor. It's locked. Same way with group lockout. You know, it was hard to explain when you all see me talk about these boxes. Prime example, you know, I can give one key. I can use one lock to lock this out. You wouldn't have to have all of this. So basically what you can do is I could be like the lead lockout guy. I could come in, I can put one lock on this, I can take my key, I can drop it in here, and you guys come and put your all's locks in this, and that would do away with this big bulky mess. It's just a simplified version. It's the same process where everybody can see that I can pass it around, everybody can still see their names on the tags. So in this application, you got so many people, it's hard to keep up and walk around and show all of this because people know where these are, so they still trust in this method, which there's nothing wrong with that. But this is just an option method that we have. There's different styles. There's different types of group lockout. There's cables, and not only in these group lockouts, it's very important that these tags are very visible with your name, of course. I'm to the understanding now that it's not as much critical on these types of tags to write down specifically in your remarks on what it's for. The main key is your name and your date. So from what I've been gathering, you know, the remarks is an option. You know, if you want to leave for contractors, you know, their company they work for, what they're working on, but it's more right here, the name and the date that this was applied, that is very critical. So that's, each one of these locks belong to each individual person. And you know, for somebody coming in, you know, I can come in, and my group of men out here right now working, I can come in and I can see each person's name on here that to make sure that they are locked out. This right here this is their life. This is their life right here, making sure that this is locked out. But anyways, we can get more involved in MCC, you know, doing the whole test and try. So let's go up there. All right, like I was talking to you all down there in the MCC room, I was wanting to kind of give you all a general idea on these plant alarm systems that you're starting to see more and more of through mountain. So one thing here is, you know, it's going to be hard for me to show you all an exact deal with the siren and stuff because, you know, again, as you can see, our plant's not running. We're doing winter maintenance. But I can still briefly give you all, you know, a general idea of what I'm talking about. But as you can see, this right here is our control box. This right here controls everything out here in our plant. And basically what this does is every one of these components is dead. You look up here, this is labeled plant siren. Right above this, you'll notice there's a little green light right here. And this is an old school fire truck siren. It's got a ramp up and ramp back down real loud. It's a good siren, but you'll probably notice too that the time that this takes for it to ramp up and ramp back down is probably a little bit different than some of the ones. It's just a high frequency, different pitch, tone change, whatever. But if you'll watch here, I'll push this button, and like right now I just pushed it and the siren's going off. As it's going off, you'll notice this little green light right here come on when it's done doing its cycle. All right, now that you just sit and watch this light come on, this light right here at the top, it says control power ready light. And what that does is that gives me control power up here to turn anything on. Again, I'm not going to turn nothing on because I got guys down here working, but as of right now, I can turn anything on while this light's still on. And the way that I have this timed is I try to turn on the components in a timely manner. But anyways, that gives you 45 seconds to a minute of control power to turn on. Now you'll notice it just went off. Well, what that's going to do, nothing else is going to start because you have no control power. So you're obligated right here. Your siren's going back up. It's doing its cycle. Your light will come back on, and you continue to try to start your plant up at a timely manner. This right here is a very, very crucial thing here because, as you can see, it's kind of compact. It's hard to see certain areas. This plant siren is a very, very vital thing to have. It's well equipped. I mean, this is pretty cut and dry. It does well for its purpose. All right, if you all can notice, these right here are types of buckets that are individual. We've got 4 of them here. This right here controls our pug mill stacker. Our one side, we call this the left side pug mill. The right side, these are our blenders is what it is. And this right here is our hydraulic pump. Right now, this right here would be kind of a good example to show you all because we're not using this. So you can literally see me turn these off and on and locking things out. That's something that, you know, I've never really practiced, you know, getting up in front of classes. But this right here is, as you can see, most of these handles are pretty much the same, but now if you look, you know, in some of the displays on them big props that I had, they're not always the same. You look over here, you got this one here. Over here, you got different types of locks. Here, this one right here is locked out for a welder. They're just different good style. They got the hole through. It's really good and locked off. And over here, we can go ahead and I can demonstrate to you all, you know, in these types of handles. You can turn it off. I always try to get in good habit of using these type of hasps because it always gives other people that's coming in that, you know, want to help or just try to get the thing going. And contractors, you don't know who anybody that can come in. But anyways, always just try to get in a good habit of using the hasp. Always just make sure that my hasps aren't spread apart, good working order. They fit in the hole. That's more important than anything in some of these boxes. Lock it out. Make sure you're handling your locks real good. And last but not least, 100% keep your key in your pocket. That right there will safeguard the key. When you're done, it's vice versa. I don't know if I can get the key in there. When work's complete, turn it back on. That's pretty cut and dry on these right here. Something else too that I always like to show on these types of boxes is these handles. Some of these handles have different slots in them, and you know, if these ain't available, it doesn't mean that you just can't use a lock. These locks right here, you know, they can easily go in here. They serve the same purpose, but this right here is just as good as a hasp. Now, that's on this component, and you know, not all breakers have big handles to where you can turn them off. Over here we got a box that this right here is our HP 300 cone crusher. This right here is one of the main breakers that feeds it, and again, this is safe to turn off. I was just going to demonstrate one of these style hasps on these big paddle handle breakers. There's two different sizes. These right here for big paddle handles. These right here for more of a medium size. On this one right here, we use the big application because of the size of the paddle. But basically, it's the same process. Always want to make sure your breaker's in the off position. These right here only go on one way. These right here start from the top, and as you can see, these have different style wedges of how these work. So basically, I always put this in with it facing inward right here. Make sure it's a good snug fit. Tighten your handle up. Little set screw up on top. Your hasp. And that's pretty secure. One thing right here that I like to demonstrate on this right here is the importance of using the hasp on these, because some of these little tabs that your lock goes in on these right here, locks anymore are made in different various sizes, and sometimes these right here won't fit in these. So I always try to encourage people to use a hasp on one of these right here. So that right there is on this size breaker. Again, this right here is another vital tool in your lockout tagout, and this can be purchased. I think this one's a Bradley. I'm pretty sure Morse makes one. There's different styles, but this is the one I trust. I mean, this is really good and solid, and it's pretty secure on there. So. And I know you all come into certain MC rooms and you all see these big old orange bags. Well, these are arc flash suits. These are to be worn when you are authorized and task trained. These suits consist of gloves. These right here are 1,000-volt rubber gloves. A lot of times too, if you look into them, these right here do have expiration dates. These right here, I normally change them about every 2 years, or when they're damaged, or if they've been exposed to live work. I always try to keep these fresh. Your set will include gloves, and I always try to keep my set back in the original bag, just because it helps protect it, and from wear and tear, because I haul mine around in my truck. These right here is my coat, and sometimes on these coats, if you look at them on these tags, it'll talk about a calorie rating. This one right here is good for 41 calories. These right here is the same calorie rating as my jacket. And last but not least, you got the almighty space helmet. I call it the space helmet, and this right here is probably one of the most vital parts of your arc flash suit to keep clean because of being visible. Again, when you see somebody wearing one of these, this right here, if you see this in an MCC room, I highly recommend you to make sure that you ask permission to even be around it, because these guys are really working on something. These suits right here are well built. They come with their own little personal hard hat, and they will protect you. Another thing too is the rating of volts. If you look at some of these panels, you can see at the top of them, all this is 3-phase high voltage. Over here, I always try to label my boxes 460 volts, 480 volts. But me, I'm a sticker freak. I love to let everybody know that, this is where I want you to lock it out at. This disconnect does not remove all power from the panel. And the reason that being is because you got internal power feeding this box. High voltage, to me, you can't get enough sticker protection. I mean, yeah, you could overdo it, but to me, this is pretty cut and dry, and if you can look on all these boxes in here, I've got some kind of sticker, to let you know that, hey, this is serious stuff. Anybody that is task trained, qualified, can work on anything. It's 480 volts. The big thing is the cutoff line, and no CRH employee is allowed to work on anything 600 volts or more. That's their cutoff point, and to me, I think that's a good thing, because you can imagine what 600 volts is versus 460 volts. It's a very, very critical line of electric. And I know you all have seen videos that I've posted over the years, about arc flashes and the big snake electric bolts coming off of power lines. Well, this right here is where it all starts, is on your high voltage side. The main thing is if you don't know, don't think this is just something, just come in and put a lock on, and there's more to it than that. Don't be afraid, don't be ashamed to even ask questions if you don't know. This is your ticket back home. This is your life right here. And I'm always here. I've always got open ears when it comes to electric, and if anybody has questions, they know how to get a hold of me. I hope you all got something from this. I know it was kind of cut and dry. We're all new to this whole new virtual thing, but that's the way we got to do it. But anyways, I appreciate you all, and again, I hope you all get something from this. Thank you.